Alright, fellas. Shout out everyone. Anyone who's here. My name is Ngaba. Um, Honestly, at this point, I guess I'm a concept. But yeah, I think this video, and I guess any video that comes after this, is probably honestly just gonna be like a stream of consciousness, like an ongoing stream of consciousness that I kind of don't care to edit. That's kind of, I guess, also gonna be a bit of a journal for myself, and just kind of talking to myself, kind of just getting things off of my chest, getting things off of my mind. Yeah, man, and just yapping, bro. Because honestly, I'm a yapper, and I think I'm at the point where it feels like some of my yapping is ever so slightly like abrasive, convoluted, and just generally misunderstood within certain platforms, certain spaces, certain circles, etc., etc. So I'm just gonna throw it into, I guess, the void that is the internet, and leave it to posterity to figure out. Yeah, that's the word. So yeah, man. Yeah, I was just genuinely wrapping up my week, getting ready for something else this coming, this weekend. Some work that I've got, and yeah, like, I don't know, like, I was just sort of sitting down to kind of just wind down, man. I had a long day. I was doing some physical labor, and yeah, like, just winding down, getting back into like the creative stuff and just preparing for this thing tomorrow. And like, I actually don't know how, because I think I started off playing Chasing Highs by Moses Ideka. God, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But I started off like playing that, and quite honestly, like, somehow I found this song, bro. This song, and I was just journaling about it, and I was like, nah, screw this, bro. Like even the typing out or like the writing, it's taking too long, and this just needs to be like a flowing, unconcerned, unrestricted sort of like flow of consciousness. And I've spent the whole day sort of thinking about, no man, what's this bloody thing that like I need to do? What's this freaking thing that I need to? Because I was also listening to the astrology podcast by Chris Brennan, and yeah, dude, like I genuinely, just looking into like some of the transits for August and stuff like that, and he mentioned like this auspicious sort of transit that's going to be happening on the 3rd. Everyone's talking about the 11th, given that like the Venus-Jupiter conjunction is then, but like, hey, like it's in between. It's sort of weirdly enclosed by like super turbulent, astrology or transits. So yeah, man, like I'm just like, but I'm like, okay, if Chris Brandon says like, do something on the 3rd, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do something on the 3rd. But I hadn't figured it out, because obviously I've got a lot of things that I'm trying to like purpose intentionally. So yeah, anyways, I got back, I'm listening to the song Chasing Highs, but then somehow, somewhere, whether it's in my brain or it's Apple Music, that sort of recommended this, but it's the song, bro, and it literally took me straight back to my childhood, right? It's a song called, God, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but it's called Ekat Emiawa, in brackets, a talk with my ancestors, or a chat with my ancestors, bro, I don't know, but yeah, man, it's this sort of like wannabe tribal, wannabe like traditional lo-fi ambient sort of song that I always used to like sort of hear. And honestly, like for me, I think like when I listen to like a cool song, like, bro, low-key, like it just gets stuck in my head, and I can't get it out, you know? And eventually I just find my way back to it. But anyways, yeah, so anyways, I basically played this song, and I mean, I'm probably gonna play it right now just to get back into it, because I found Count Your Blessings by Rabs Bafui and Miz. God, like, you know that thing of trying to like stay politically correct, you know, and that includes like pronunciation and enunciation and stuff like that, right? God, bro, my mom was telling me this like recently. I'm so freaking Model C. But yeah, basically, I was just playing Rabs Bafui and Mrs. Sort of freaking incredible, legendary song. What's it called? Count Your Blessings. Count Your Blessings. Yeah, I was just listening to that. But yeah, like, I mean, I'm playing it right now, and I have no idea how this is gonna sound like in the eventual mix or whatever, you know, because I'm just recording this on photo booth, and honestly, it's just kind of a stream of consciousness. But yeah, the song, bro, like, genuinely, like, I remember every single Friday, when I was in primary school, in Ekumcha or Komka or Kumcha or whatever the hell, man, like, ish. Yeah, I remember every Friday coming back from hostel, going back to Butterworth. I would, obviously we'd be on a transport, right, you know, sort of a thing, or like a shuttle or whatever. And like, obviously there's always music playing, you know, and like there's chats flowing and stuff like that, you know, before you get back home. And bro, there was always this one recurring song, like somewhere in the mix, like they'd be like, you know, your strong house, your wanna be gom, your like your deep house, all of that, but always like somewhere in the mix there'd be the song, right? And I low-key just remember, like, it's bro, like, it's got these drums going, right? But then there's also like this sort of, and I feel like it's an electronic element. I'm not a freaking musician, but there's this electronic like element, right? That's like flowing under these drums, and then somewhere in the mix of all of that, like there's this sort of like disembodied, like vaguely enunciated sort of like choir, right? That is like chanting in a way, right? And bro, like, I remember like these, like I used to honestly, like, just like it would come on, and I mean, obviously, like, I'd be, you know, it's got a beat to it, and like, you know, like, and I'm one of those brews, like, who will literally like be in the section, and, you know, we're just head popping, you know, and like, obviously you can like kind of like mix up the head bopping and sort of like, you know, do some moves and all of that. Like, I'm one of those kids who was always like practicing dance moves in their head, and then like whenever like the older people sort of put you on the spot and they're like, nah, Chaiwanga look, sort of a thing. And I'm like, bro, that ain't me. I'm not about to do that. Like, forget about it. So obviously like I never won any of those dance competitions and stuff like that, with like elders and like relatives and cousins and da da da, etc. But yeah, man. Basically like I'd always be listening to the song, right? And every single time, bro, I remember like I'd just quite literally zone out. I'd forget about everything I was thinking of like that weekend, if you will. And I'd forget about low-key like everything else, bro. And I'd genuinely just zone out into some like sort of vague fucking gosh, excuse my language. But this vague freaking sort of like watery emotional world, right? And I'd be like, bro, like what? Because I like it always felt so weirdly transcendent. This is weird. I was having some peanut butter, a peanut brittle bar, and yeah, I guess some of it was weirdly like, that's the thing about sobriety, bro. The weird thing about sobriety is that you absolutely just become weirdly and excruciatingly like hyper aware of like your body, right? And its processes and its functions and its volatility, its ups and downs, yeah, bro, like it's freaking insane. But anyways, no, cause genuinely though, bro, not genuine. Let's have a chat about it. Like, ever since I've been like practically just like straight sober, the weird thing is like I'll for example consume glucose, right, or something sweet, right, let's say. And I'm only saying this because I have like a bit of a vague background in sort of like biology, anatomy, and stuff like that. I once went to nursing school billions of years ago. English, billions of years ago, and bro, like I'll consume some like something sweet, and like I can genuinely feel, like those metabolic processes are happening, like when it reaches my brain, like, and then, the energy surge and all of that, and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, like it's been stupidly, weirdly, like funky how sort of intentional I've had to sort of be about like my diet and what I consume, and weirdly enough, just not just dietary wise, but just like the content that I consume. But bro, this is becoming a freaking tangent, and I kind of want to keep this together, just so I don't have people like stuck on this video forever, or like signing out and then YouTube says the retention rate sucks and stuff like that, and then I feel crappy about myself and stuff like that. Okay, no. But bro, where was I? But yeah, I'd get into like this weirdly transcendent world, bro, genuinely, thinking about my emotions, like sort of reflecting and introspecting, and like sort of like in a way kind of being like softly rough with myself, if that even makes sense, and just like diving into like my thoughts and like my ideas and the way that I've gone about things and things I could have done differently, conversations I could have approached differently. Yeah, man, just so many things. And I think as I grew up, that sort of like weirdly morphed into like a sort of like weirdly hypercritical. Excuse me. Excuse me. Like a weirdly hypercritical sort of like self-concept and like self-view or whatever, because I've always been someone who is, I don't know, extremely caring, bro. Extremely caring, extremely empathetic, extremely sensitive, hyper aware, like extremely aware of like, because I've had to grow up from a super young age, right? And I think even like as a lighty, like these are things I don't consciously remember, but like subconsciously and sort of emotionally, I still remember how those things felt. But just sort of like from the get-go having to read a room. So I've always been hyper aware of like, social norms, social conventions, and like, what could I call it? Social cues, if you will, from people, body language, etc., etc. And the weird thing is that like I got to a certain point, and I can't remember consciously, to be honest, but I got to a certain point and I was kind of like, okay, I get them and I understand them now, right? So now I absolutely don't give a damn about them, bro. I don't give a flying fuck about them, right? Of which I had made that decision internally, and I hadn't exactly given myself the opportunity to actually live within that decision and kind of just be like, you know what, bruh, I do not care, screw it, sort of a thing, and actually like sort of embody what intuitively and internally I knew, because the world runs on those social cues, right? It runs on those sort of concepts of fitting in and playing the game, right? And running the rat's race and just like fitting in, bro, and conforming. But I mean, the flip side of that, right? Because conforming isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I think as humans we do most definitely like want to relate and sort of like just feel connected to something outside of ourselves, right? And yeah, man, I think genuinely it's been the toughest thing just in the past few weeks, and honestly, God, the past 25 years, let's be honest, just growing into that, to be honest. Growing into that understanding, growing into that self-acceptance, man, that, bro, I don't fit in. Like I just don't fit in. And I'm not gonna try to sort of like conform to any weird, stupid, dumb box that anyone wants to put me in, bro. Like, genuinely, like, I wish things were different, right? But, bro, like, this is how I am, bro. This is my DNA. Like, it's RSA, dog. But anyways, yeah, genuinely, I'm just like, it's been, I mean, in a very tough way, right? In a very tough way, because I won't lie, people, I think people, everyone's pretty abrasive, if you push them far enough. And that's pretty sweet, because I've always been someone who, just because I'm so aware of like social cues and I guess just the way that things work, I've always tried to be like a sort of conniving, sort of like weirdly, like how I guess people talk of I guess people call it astrology, people, whatever. Astrologers talk about or the mystics or the spiritual people talk about the Mercury or Hermes or and also, guys, another thing, bro, like if you're into astrology or whatever, right, I genuinely believe that Uranus is a higher octave of of Mercury. And bro, Uranus and Gemini is gonna freaking change everything. Like, no ways, bro. I mean, I was just like I was listening to the astrology podcast early on while doing this physical labor, right? And I was what's this? They were talking about how Uranus as a planet, like astronomy now. Let's forget astrology and like the woo stuff or whatever. But even just in terms of astronomy and like someone, out there with a telescope trying to find a planet, I guess. Yeah, bro, like genuinely, like when they found it, Uranus was in Gemini. Isn't that freaking insane? That like we're back there now, and yeah, man, I think Uranus itself is like super trickster energy, and it kind of makes sense why, like in modern astrology, it rules like Aquarius. It's tough as hell having that in my first house. But anyways, yeah, man, I've always had this sort of crazy wannabe trickster energy. And that's the thing, bro. Like, I don't wanna like now have anyone like cause a hubbub or whatever. I don't want to cause a hubbub or anything like that. All right, guys, just bear with me, man. Like I cry easily when I'm sad. I cry easily when I'm angry, and I cry easily when I'm laughing. So yeah, don't worry. These are tears of joy. But the funky thing, bro. The funky thing, right? Is that I've always had that weird sort of like trickster energy, and I'd always like lay certain like Easter eggs to sort of like get people talking and thinking about something, right? About, I guess, about me or through the context of me or something I've said, something I've done. And yeah, bro, like I would quite genuinely like sort of lay out these eggs. Ish, bro, why is this thing going grom level now? Yeah, let's take it back normal level. But yeah, maybe let me turn it up for you niggas to hear it a bit more. But yeah, dude, like genuinely, it's freaking insane. But I mean, equally, I think one thing that's a part of like growing up and stuff like that is kind of learning that actions have consequences, and stuff like that. And yeah, man, you kind of have to be like extremely intentional. I guess if you find yourself having the ability to stir stuff to that level, right? And I guess create such a hubbub or whatever, right? Without diminishing yourself and without necessarily letting people's opinions get to you. I think you do have to sort of like very, very extremely seriously sort of think about like what the actions of your consequences are, and just try to move intentionally, and that's why I think I'm at the point where I'm trying not to let the algorithm pimp me, you know, and I'm trying to pimp the algorithm itself, bro, using other algorithms and stuff like that. But yeah, let's not get into that right now. But yeah, man, and kind of just work with the algorithm, to be honest, because it does what it does. It does what it does. You know, Uranus and Gemini is here to stay. Pluto's in Aquarius. The world is changing at freaking 60 beats per second, bro. Like 120 k's an hour or 100 miles. What? 60 miles, whatever, bro. Yeah. I try to flex on y'all and like be able to do the metric and the other sort of thingamajiggy like in real time, but there's too many things on my mind. But yeah, bro, genuinely the world is changing like at freaking 60,000 miles an hour, and I think it's very important to sort of like just find a way to stay freaking grounded. If not in community, if not in family, if not in anyone else, if not in art, if not in beauty, if not, gosh, dude, for some people, if not in drugs, if not in groove, if not in like love, if not in whatever, just to at least stay grounded in yourself, and who you are or who you're trying to be, or grounded in whatever the hell you want to be grounded in, to be honest, you know? Because I think that's the thing. Yeah, like, it's like 8 billion souls, bro. Like, and everyone is trying to, like, you know, sort of create their own path. And there's still, like, this one path that we're all supposed to sort of fit in, which is the weirdest thing ever. But I guess it is what it is, and I guess it's life, and I guess it's cool. And yeah, man, I guess this is, gosh, like, when this was going, I was low-key at like 14 minutes, and I was like, yeah, man, maybe like let's wrap this up in like 20 minutes, and I am currently at 28 minutes, and God, 28. Yo, guys, Saturn, Tico. Like, I'm so scared, bro. What's coming? I've got 3 years to figure my life out. But anyways, before I get drifty and, you know, go off. Oh, there's a plane going past. Before I drift off and like try to keep this thing going, that's the nice thing about sort of planning and trying to think, okay, this is going to be a channel, let's try and do this sustainably. It's going to be an ongoing stream of consciousness, and quite honestly, I don't even know how I'm going to package it, what the title or the thumbnail is going to be and stuff like that. I genuinely have no idea. But this is my journal. If anyone happens to connect with this, shout out to you, bro. I'm going to share this thing everywhere. I don't care what you think. If you're coming from a place of negativity. If you're positive, shout out, bro. Join the thingamajiggy. Like, subscribe, comment, do what you want to do. Yeah, man, this isn't going anywhere. That's a promise to myself and a promise to you. Yeah, I honestly have no idea whether it's gonna be a monthly thing, daily, weekly, or it's gonna be whenever the frick I feel like it. But yeah, I just wanted to pour my heart out, put pen to paper. and this is about to reach 30 minutes. I'm not gonna let it get past 30 minutes. So yeah, shout out. I hope you're good. Love you lots. Cheers.